reflection in the spherical mirrors we have learned. So now, as in the last class we have discussed about the reflection, and then we have learned about the magnification formula, mirror formula, and then depending on those, by applying those two formulas, okay, the focal length and then the we have finding out the focal length along with the finding out the image distance and the height of the image using these two formulas, right? So hope that everyone is clear with whatever the problems we have solved in the last class. Okay, if you have any confusions related to the topic or related to the problems, okay, you can ask them in the after the class, at the end of the class. Okay, so now we'll move on to the refraction of light. So what do you mean by the refraction of light? As we discussed in the last class, refraction of light is nothing but it is the bending of ray of light when it enters from one transparent medium to the another transparent medium. So I told you the difference between the reflection and refraction of light also. Okay, reflection takes place in two mediums or one medium. It is related, that phenomenon is related to only one medium. Okay, the incident ray also travels in the same medium and the ray of light also reflects in the same medium itself. But in the refraction, what happens? We are considering two transparent mediums. Okay, so after studying the definition of refraction, to understand the refraction of light, we'll just conduct a simple activity which I'll be showing you on the board using the rectangular glass slab. I hope that everyone has seen the rectangular glass slab. Okay, glass slab means it is made up of a thick glass which is rectangular in shape. Okay, so here is the diagram which I have shown you on the board. I'll just explain you how to conduct the activity here. First, we are supposed to take a plain white sheet. Okay, plain white sheet, and we are supposed to take a rectangular glass slab and keep that rectangular glass slab on the white sheet. After keeping the rectangular glass slab there, mark the outline of the glass slab. Okay, and then remove out the glass slab. After that, we can name the ends of the glass slab as A, B, C and D over there. Okay, these are the outlines which we are drawing of the rectangular glass slab. Okay, after drawing the outline, once again you keep the glass slab on the same outline and they take two pins and pin it at the position E and F here. Everyone is able to see E and F where I have shown you with the dotted structure here, right? So you are supposed to take 4 pins, among that any 2 pins you are supposed to take and pin it at the positions E and F. Okay, and then by looking at the other face means there are 2 phases here. One is the AB is one phase of the rectangular glass slab, CD is the another phase of the glass slab. So first what you have done, after keeping the glass slab, you have taken the 2 pins and pinned it at the position E and F, and looking from the second phase, that is C and D, looking from this phase, just you are supposed to look at the pins E and F and then pin the positions of those 2 pins at the G and H. Okay, after looking at those, now you have pinned all the 4 pins over there on the sheet. Now remove out the glass slab and also remove out the pins what you have pinned on the white sheet over there. So after that, we are supposed to draw join the points E and F and extend that line, the inclined line we can say. It is in an inclination, yes or no? So we are a rectangular glass slab. We have kept it on a white sheet, then marked the outlines of those and named those outlines as A, B, C and D. We have marked it. After that, we have taken 4 pins. Among that, 2 pins we have kept it at the position C and F. Okay, and then taking the other 2 pins and looking from the second phase, we are looking at these 2 pins from the second phase and we have marked those 2 pins as G and F here. Okay, after that what we have done, we have taken out the glass slab and then removed off all the pins out of that. After that we have drawn a straight line joining from EF to the phase 1 AB as O at the point O, and then we are extending the line GH to the phase, second phase, that is CD, at the point O dash. After that we are drawing a line joining from the O to the O dash here. Okay, so now you can see, so this we can say that this is showing E and F inclined line to this phase is showing the incident ray. Okay, the light is entering this line, what we are showing, it is showing us the incident ray. Okay, that ray of light is incidenting on the phase AB here. So as we have taken the ray of light, now it is entering from one phase to the another phase. What are those 2 phases or what are those 2 mediums here? One is the air medium and another is the glass medium here. Okay, so in the first case what happens, the light ray is entering from the rarer medium to the denser medium or air medium to the glass medium. Okay, so what happens over here, after drawing the incident ray and the refracted ray which is going inside, we are drawing a normal to this point O. When we draw the normal to the point O, what happens here is, we are marking the angle making between the incident ray and then the normal, what it is called as angle of incidence, right? In the laws of reflection also we have learned, right? So the same thing we are supposed to apply, but there instead of using the angle of reflection, here we are using the angle of refraction. Okay, the angle made between the refracted ray. Refracted ray means what? The ray which bends when it enters the another medium. So the refracted ray and the normal, the angle between these 2 lines, we call it as the angle of refraction. Okay, so here I am taking I1 as an angle of incidence for this phase and angle of refraction as R2 for this phase. Okay, I think this is clear. So the next thing, this is the one case what it is happening where the ray of light is traveling from the rarer medium to the denser medium. Okay, do you understand the words rarer and denser? Rarer and denser. Okay, rarer medium, we are when we take any 2 mediums, we say that where the light can travel the fastest. Okay, where the space is more for the particles to move, that will be the rarer medium. Okay, where the particles are packed a little tightly as compared to the other one, that is the denser medium. If I am taking the example of air and glass, air will be the rarer medium, glass will be the denser medium. If I am considering water and then the air, which will be the rarer medium over there? Air will be the rarer medium and water is the denser medium. If I am taking water and oil, which is the rarer and the denser medium there? Water will be the rarer medium, denser will be the oil medium over there. Oil will be the denser medium. Okay, I hope that these 2 terms are very clear for you guys. So now, where we had marked as incident, angle of incidence I1 and angle of incidence R2. Angle of refraction R2. So next, as the ray travels in the glass medium and at the point O dash, it tries to come out of the glass and it enters again the air medium here. Now what happens? This was the first case where it is entering from air to the glass. But in the second case the ray which is refracted inside will be the incident ray for this second phase. Okay, so here the angle made between this incident ray and then the normal will be the I2, and then when it comes out we call this ray as a refracted ray, or we can also call it as a emergent ray. Emergent ray. The angle made between the emergent ray and the normal, we are calling it as angle of emergence, or it is also the angle of refraction. Okay. So now this was the activity where we have conducted and we have seen how the angles have been considered. So now what you can find a difference over here. How the line was supposed to, how the ray was supposed to travel from EF. If it is coming to the point O, it was supposed to travel in a straight line, right? The line which I have shown you in a dotted line here, red color dotted line, this was the original path of the incident ray. But what happened here, as it is coming from one medium to the another medium, the path of the ray is changing when it enters the second medium. Okay, so when it enters the second medium, what happens? This is the rarer medium and this is the denser medium, right? So tell me that if this is the normal, okay, and this is the ray where it was supposed to go in a straight path, okay, so the ray which enters from the rarer medium to the denser medium, either it moves towards the normal or it moves away from the normal. Here what it is happening, it is moving towards the normal. Yes, so remember this thing, it is very important, okay, for the exam point of view. When the ray enters from rarer to denser medium, what happens? The refracted ray move towards the normal, okay, move towards the normal, and then when the ray is entering from the denser medium to the rarer medium, opposite of this, when it is entering from denser to the rarer medium, so what it is happening here, the ray is coming towards the normal or it is going away from the normal? Away from the normal. Okay, remember this, when it is entering from denser to the rarer medium, the refracted ray or the emergent ray goes away from the normal. So now we have seen the difference what happens here to the refracted ray when it is entering from denser to rarer or rarer to denser. Why this happens? You might be having a question in your mind, right? Ma'am, when it is entering from rarer to denser, why it is coming near to the normal? When it is entering from denser to the rarer, what is happening? It is going away from the normal. Why it happens? So it is a simple logic we can think there. Rarer medium means what? What do you mean by the rarer medium? Where the particles can move freely. Okay, the speed of light can be very fast. Yes or no? In the rarer medium. In the denser medium, what happens? As there is no much space over there, in the denser medium the particles are little bit tightly packed over there. Then what happens when the light enters? So it is not having lot of space to move away. Okay, so what happens when it is entering from a rarer to the denser medium? It tries to move towards the normal, and when it is coming from the denser to the rarer medium, it moves away from the normal. Okay, this point is clear now. Then whatever the distance, this was the original path of the incident ray where it was supposed to travel, but it has refracted this much. The distance, the perpendicular distance from this O dash to the straight line, if you are drawing from the point O dash to the dotted line, what happens? This distance is called as what? Lateral shift. O dash L. O dash L. It is called as lateral shift. So what do you mean by the lateral shift here? The refracted ray has been shifted from the original path. Okay, the shift what it is taking from the original path, that is nothing but the what it is? Lateral shift. Okay, here. Okay, what is the activity? How it is taking place in the refraction through the glass slab. See, remember, this activity may not be asked, but this activity, whatever the related points are there, you will be getting it for 1 mark. 1 mark, so many questions will be there, and in problems also what happens? So many points are essential here. Okay. So now, once I'll just revise what we have learned here. Okay. As by this activity, what we have learned? The first point what we have learned here, refraction of light takes place in two mediums. Okay, refraction of light takes place always through the two mediums. When the light travels from one medium to the another medium, there will be two mediums. Always there are two mediums for the refraction of light. So one will be the rarer medium and another will be the denser medium. Remember, this is the first point what we have learned in the refraction of light. So what is the second point here? So when light travels from the rarer to denser, from rarer to denser, what happens over there? The ray of light shift towards the normal. And what is the third point? It is opposite to the second point, right? When the light travels from denser medium to the rarer medium, so what happens over there? How the light behaves? It moves from the away from the normal. The light ray moves away from the normal here. Okay, these 3 points are clear. After that, what do you mean by that? The fourth point should be the lateral shift. What do you mean by the lateral shift here? It is the distance between the original path of the incident ray to the refracted ray over there. It is a perpendicular distance which we are able to see from O dash to the dotted line here. Okay, that is nothing but the lateral shift, we call it as. The how much the original ray or an incident ray has shifted from the original path, that distance we call it as what? Lateral shift. Okay, a simple concept. So hope that everyone has understood with this refraction of light through the glass slab. Okay, so we'll go to the next concept, that is laws of refraction. So while learning about the reflection of light, we have learned there are two laws, right? In the same manner, here we are learning laws of refraction. Laws of refraction. So here also in refraction there are two laws. Okay. So slightly I will just roughly I will draw you the diagram how the refraction seems to be. So if this is a line or an interface, what this line? This is a interface. This line, what it happens? It separates two mediums. I can call this as one as a rarer medium, another as a denser medium. Okay, if you are taking air or water, air or glass, or water or glass, oil or water, any two mediums. Okay. So the line which I have drawn here will be the interface for the rarer and the denser medium here. So when the light travels from one medium to another medium, what happens? It bends. Okay, it changes the path over there. Okay, this will be the normal where I am drawing. So this is the angle of incidence, and what is this? Angle of refraction, not reflection. It is angle of refraction. We are learning the laws of refraction here. Okay, it is the angle of refraction. So roughly I have shown you how the light bends when it is entering from one medium to the another medium. So what is the first law states here? The first law of refraction states that the incident ray, then the refracted ray. What is the incident ray here? refracted ray, incident ray, refracted ray, and normal drawn to the, where this normal is drawn to the interface of two mediums. Okay, drawn to the interface of two media at the point of incidence, okay, all lie on same, yes, where do the all these three lie there, they all lie on the same plane. Okay, they all lie on the same plane. So what are those three lines, or what are those three rays here? One is the incident ray, second is the refracted ray, incident ray, refracted ray, and the normal. Where it is drawn to the interface of two media at the point of incidence, all lie on the same plane. Okay, this is the first law of refraction. And what is the second law here? The second law of refraction is also called as Snell's law. Snell's law. What it states is the sine of angle of incidence, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant. Okay, the second law of refraction states that the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant. So this law is also called as what? It is also called as the Snell's law. Okay, be clear with this. So these two are what? These two are the laws of refraction. These two are the laws of refraction. I hope that everyone has understood both the laws of refraction and both the laws of refraction. So next we will study about the refractive index. Okay, refractive index. Refractive index. So what is this refractive index? See, now we have seen that the rays of light are traveling from one medium to another medium. So what happens? So for one medium, what happens? The ray of light, the speed of light may be different. When it enters the other medium, what happens? The speed of the light changes over there. So to study the relation between the speed of light in two mediums, we are expressing that in terms of what? Refractive index. Okay, and this refractive index, we denote this in the form of small n. Okay, n. So here, as I said, refraction is related to two mediums. So to take out the refractive index of light in two mediums, we have to take the speed of light in one medium to the speed of light in the other medium. Now, for example, I will tell you that if the ray of light is traveling from the one medium to the another medium, if you think that this is the medium 1, that is air medium, and this is medium 2, that is water medium. The light is entering from the air medium to the water medium. calculate that. So this is medium 1 and this is medium 2. Now I am supposed to calculate that what is the speed of light in the second medium with respect to the first medium, or refractive index of the light in the air medium with respect to water. To calculate the refractive index, so we are taking the two mediums 1 and 2. So here I am supposed to write n2 1. Okay. How the denotation will be given here? Check it over once. How I am writing it? n2 1. Because I am supposed to calculate what is the speed of light in the first medium with respect to the second medium. Okay, so I have to write it in the form of refractive index 2 1. So whichever number I am writing at the last, the speed of light in that medium I have to take it first. So here speed of light in medium 1 n21 is equal to speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. Okay, this is how the formula is there for the refractive index. Keep in mind. So if I want to calculate the reverse of that, which means I want the refractive index of light in the medium 1 with respect to medium 2, then what we are supposed to, medium 2 with respect to medium 1, how we are taking n opposite to this medium 1 2. So what is the second number here, or which is the second medium which I have written here? That is medium 2. So the speed of light in this medium 2 should be on the numerator, just opposite to the reverse of the formula here. Speed of light in medium 2 to the speed of light in the medium 1. Okay, write the complete formula over there. Okay, don't write in the short form. So the speed of light in the medium 2 with respect to the speed of light in the medium 1. Okay, is it clear with the refractive index? Okay, so what is here refractive index? Here we are calculating the refractive index of a light of one medium with respect to the another medium. If I have to calculate refractive index of medium 1 with respect to 2, so I have to take the speed of light in the medium 1 to the medium 2. If it is reverse of that, then speed of light in the medium 2 with respect to medium 1. Okay, this is clear. So now in this case, if you have two mediums where one medium is a vacuum or air, if one medium is vacuum or air, there is a fixed value for the speed of light in the air medium or the vacuum medium. Okay, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. This is what? Speed of light in vacuum. Speed of light in vacuum or air. What it is? V or A means it is vacuum or air. The speed of light is constant, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So when one medium is given as air or the air or the vacuum medium, that time what the formula for the refractive index become is n is equal to C by V. N is equal to C by V. Okay. So what is n here? Refractive index. And C is the speed of light in vacuum or air. Speed of light in vacuum or air is always given by the C. Okay. And then what is V here? Speed of light in any medium. It may be water, glass, whatever medium, oil medium they are giving. So speed of light in that medium we are taking it as a V over there. Okay. I hope that this is clear. This value of c, what it will be? Speed of light in the air medium, what it will be? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, I hope that all the things what we have learnt in this class